Now I'll recognize the gentlelady from the state of Arizona, sign of the NFL draft tonight. I'll recognize you for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Reed, according to a January 2022 report from the Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, the growing patchwork of state laws will cost small businesses at least $200 billion over the next 10 years. Given the differing levels of size and sophistication that businesses may have, how important is it to small businesses that a data privacy law is clear and consistent throughout all of the 50 states?
It's absolutely essential for all the reasons you outlined. And I think what's most important about what you're trying to do is it's not just the small businesses that will end up complying, it's all of the third parties that we depend on to build our products. Software is built like Lego. We write something special, but it's built of parts from other things, whether it's a software development kit or any other tools that we need. When everybody has the same rules, it helps the small business build something unique and special out of the pieces that we all see out on the table.
Well, and related to that, my next question, follow-up, is if we keep the status quo and the patchwork of state laws continues to grow, how can we expect entrepreneurs to take risks and innovate? Will they?
No, and a very good example. During GDPR, which we've kind of all gotten to deal with, one of our members came to me and said, well, so for the past year, I've had one of my programmers, a full FTE for an entire year, just going back through to make sure we complied with GDPR. It's a 5-person shop. Now it was for a year, it was a 4-person shop. That means there were jobs they didn't bid on, projects they didn't build, innovations they weren't able to put into it. And if I have to do that for 50 states, have 50 different people doing a single year's worth of FTE to comply, it's simply unworkable.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. The next question is to any of you. Is there a state data privacy law that this committee should look at that's a good example that we should either replicate or use parts of it? Yes.
I'll throw out California because California Consumer Rights Act and California Consumer Privacy Act were leading edge. They actually said, we have a problem, let's tackle it. It may be a fight in the mud puddle, but let's tackle it and let's move the ball forward. So kudos to them, and several other states have followed suit with that.
I'm going to go in a different direction. Virginia and 5 other states, Virginia, Colorado, Connecticut, and others, have done bipartisan legislation that I think is worth looking at.
All right. Very good. One last question, and this is, quite frankly, to any of you. What changes, if any, should be made to the American Data Privacy Protection Act that we passed out of committee last Congress to make sure we put consumers in control of the data shared through their smart home systems?
I think one of the really important things, as I mentioned, there's a lot of intangible privacy harms when it comes to kids, when it comes to all of us. And so making sure that we're really looking at protecting not only a physical safety issue, but also something that may happen down the road, the misuse of information that we don't know yet is going to happen, but history tells us it almost certainly will. So including more protections against those sorts of intangible harms would be invaluable.
Okay, and does anybody have any input on specifically smart home systems? No? All right, well, thank you. Oh, Mr. Reed.
Just that a smart home system is, at the end of the day, a way to collect data that should serve the consumer who buys it, right? I get a smart home system because I want to be able to answer questions in my kitchen. I want the Alexa, when I say, don't forget that I need to buy milk, to do it. The question is what's done with that data moving forward. So I think when we look at smart home systems, I think, as Ms. Vance said, there's some physical security elements when it locks your door, when it shuts off your lights that are in question. But I think you should look at the totality of it, which is it's collecting data on you that should be used for the purpose that you want it to do. Remind you to take out the garbage, play a song, not ship that data to somebody else, to a broker that you didn't expect that ends up shipping you something that you didn't want. So for that reason, I think smart homes are sensitive, but it's part of the larger picture of, hey, I want a service, and this is what you're doing with the data.
Thank you. Thank you for all of you coming here and spending hours with us. I appreciate it, and I yield back.
Wow, I tell you what, you asked some great questions, Ms. Lesko. Thank you very much.